Microsoft is out here making some big boy plays that I don't think anyone could have seen coming. It was only a bit over a year ago when news first broke about them buying Bethesda, giving them ownership of Doom, Skyrim, Starfield, Fallout, etc. And it only cost them about $7 billion to do so. And it's nothing major, it's just some chump change, you know, $7 billion, you could just throw that around on any given weekend, who cares? And at the time, I thought it was big enough that Xbox had this little bit of a leg up on Sony with this huge studio being added to their Infinity Gauntlet. Because the part about it that was so major is that Bethesda is a full-blown AAA studio that had E3 conferences. They produced multiple hit games every year and they are very well known in the gaming industry. Adding a company like Bethesda makes most of the Sony acquisitions look like child's play in comparison. And yeah, sure, having studios like Housemarque and Bluepoint Games and Insomniac as some of their most recent pickups was great, but I'm not going to sit here and lie as if these studios are even on the same level as Bethesda, even combined. Now keep all of that in mind because we still haven't gotten into the meat and potatoes of today's video. Microsoft just purchased Activision Blizzard for almost $70 billion. Literally 10 times the amount of what they paid for Bethesda, and I can't argue that it wasn't worth the extra price. Even looking at some of these smaller parts of Activision like Candy Crush, we all have a good laugh and question who the hell even plays that boomer game anymore. Well, funny thing is that Candy Crush alone raked in about $2 billion by itself in 2020 alone. The sales data for 2021 is not out as of yet, but I cannot imagine that the sales will be much lower, especially with people still stuck at home mostly and playing games to pass the time. And bro, for that one game alone, that one mobile game by itself, it is almost half of what Bethesda cost. This $70 billion play seems to be one of the smartest moves that Microsoft could have made simply because of the fact that they get Call of Duty out of it too. I remember back in the GameStop days, we would always have to put up signs and promotion materials for Call of Duty on PS4, and people would come in and ask me, why don't we advertise it for Xbox? The simple answer is because Sony would pay Activision for the exclusive promotion rights. So any game store you walk in and any commercial you see for Call of Duty is either going to promote a Sony console or it's just not going to promote any console at all and it's just going to be a Call of Duty ad. But now that Call of Duty is in Xbox's hands, you know that they're going to flip the script heavily just to get some payback. Now I can't say for sure if they'll make any future Call of Duty games exclusive to Xbox, but wouldn't that be wild though? As much as people say that COD has fallen off over the years, those sales are still nothing to sneeze at. Vanguard sold 40% less than Cold War, but it still took the top selling spots for both November and December of last year. And I will always say that even the worst Call of Duty or 2K NBA game or Madden game will always sell great because it's just one of those yearly titles that everyone gets their hands on. Which makes me fear Microsoft potentially buying EA or Take-Two because they'd really have the Infinity Gauntlet at that point. But even looking at the Blizzard side of this acquisition, I feel much more relieved at the same time that I'm a little bit wary. Now I do love me some Overwatch, even though there hasn't been much to do in the game recently. With Overwatch 2 on the horizon, I was annoyed at the thought of buying it with all the bad press surrounding not only the game because of that whole Jesse McCree situation, but also the company as a whole being such a hellhole for very obvious reasons. And with Xbox tweeting a statement about how they're not condoning the actions of the bad individuals at this company, hopefully the impending purge will wipe out all doubts I had about the company and everything will be great going forward. I'm just hoping that they make Overwatch fun to play again soon, but hey, I'm sure the sequel will be great. Not to mention, Xbox now has the behemoth that is Warcraft under their belt, alongside Hearthstone and StarCraft, which till this day I've never seen many people play, but hey, it's gotta be popular. And especially with Diablo 4 on the horizon, I can see them pushing heavy on that game getting closer to the release. And you know what, now that I think about it, The ace in the hole for Microsoft here is normally whenever I think of most of these Blizzard games, I imagine people playing them primarily on PC. And with Microsoft pushing not only the newest Xbox, but also Game Pass and people being able to play Xbox titles on PC, this just feels right. Like if Sony picked up Activision instead, I'm sure that things would have still worked out well. But Microsoft has their hands elbow deep in the PC market already because I don't even need to explain myself, you know how. So this whole transition feels like a natural thing that should work out well regardless. The only question I have now is what should Sony do in response? Yes, clearly Sony has a large amount of AAA studios under their belt as it is, and I have faith that they'll still have some dominance over this console generation. But going into the later half of the generation, and especially into the next gen, Sony needs to make some big dick plays of their own, otherwise this shit is going to get messy. Now I see a lot of people talking about if Microsoft secures a Japanese studio like Square Enix, it is absolutely over, and I have to agree. Xboxes in general just do not sell in Japan, and if they can secure a very good Japanese studio, they are going to sell every Xbox they possibly can in Japan. But hey, with Sony being a Japanese company themselves, maybe it would be best for them to pick up something of their own before Microsoft snatches up something for, I don't know, maybe $140 billion next time. But again, with Xbox technically targeting not only the home console market, but also the PC market heavily, who can tell how things will work out? All I can say for sure is that Microsoft is making us get more interested in their company, and they are not messing around. The very last time I remember feeling like this was when Disney was going around snatching up Star Wars and Marvel, and at first I thought Disney would tarnish Marvel and turn the company into something that was far too family friendly and cute, but here we are after all these MCU movies, and I gotta admit, they hooked my ass. So I can totally see Microsoft making a lot of these fanboys turn tail in due time, especially since they're not making you buy a $500 console to get buried into their ecosystem. But you know what, that's enough of my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And what I really want to hear from you is, what do you really think that Sony needs to do? Because if they need to buy any Japanese developer, American developer, whoever they need to buy, I want to know what your thoughts are on that. And you know what, also it does suck that Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which are, you know, PlayStation legends, they ain't part of Sony no more. They're part of Microsoft, so that's a big L. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one, and I will see you guys in the next one.